Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm here at MTK Scotland with my good friend James English. James, you just want to explain just what happened this past hour. What have you been up to?
Training my ass off with the main man Andrew McCART himself. Just getting fit. We've got a boxing match. I know a lot of YouTubers and that get stick for this kind of shit. It's Boxstar, I think it's called. A few people fighting. Listen, they're paying top dollar to fight in front of 20,000 people, get fit and have a tear up. So sign me up for that. I'll fight anywhere, do you know what I mean? Like, I've been fighting my whole life, so this is nothing new, mate. I'm ready.
Listen, I seen a post that you put on Instagram. I mean, it's a good opportunity for yourself and stuff like that. A lot of these YouTubers and celebrities are coming into the boxing world now. I'm of the purist type, where I'm like, if you want to do it in your own arena, which is good because you're not doing it in a professional environment like some people do. So it's good to see that these celebrities are coming through and they're willing to, they've got the heart to step through that ring, because some people, they can talk a good game but it doesn't quite happen. But you said you've been fighting all your life. You chomping at the bit to get in there?
Of course, man, it's exciting. You're going to be nervous walking in front of 20,000 people. That's a different level, it's a different ball game. But it promotes my brand. It gets me eyes on my stuff and what I'm doing. It's business. Plus I'm getting paid for it. Plus I'm training with yourself. So there's a lot of pressure on you to do this stuff. But first session of the day, fly in, feeling good.
Listen, first session of the day, I took you maybe 8 rounds on the pads. Now, 8 rounds on the pads is hard enough, and the fitness is there. Wait, James, I've got to say, your right hand is a killer for listen, do not piss James off in any podcast, because that right hand, I'm telling you, no, you've got something about you. I do like what I saw from you today, and you seemed like there's no quitting you, because even though you were probably tired, you didn't want to let me know, you just continued, which is good to see. So where does that come from? Because like I said, I did see a post from yourself saying you obviously took the drugs when you were younger, you were in cracked ends and whatnot, you drank tonic wine all the time. So where does that fighting spirit come from yourself?
Because I'm scared to go back the way. I'm coming from a life of misery, pain, losing family members and friends to murder, suicide, overdose. I've seen the pain. I was in a life of misery. I'm still in pain, but the healthy option is best because I can handle it better. So just 3 years ago, I'm in a crack den, bang on the sniff, bang on the wine, life going nowhere. I'm a father as well, so I feel like a bum, a loser now. What I've created has just been nothing but consistency, hard work, meeting good people, doors open, opportunities open. This is another opportunity, so I'm going to grasp it with both hands. If I win this, listen, I ain't going to be shy and calling out Josh Taylor, Tyson Furies, Don Toast. I'll call it anybody, pay me money, I'll be calling it you soon.
This guy you're calling on him.
I just put him through his paces at sparring there. I'll be signing for Bellator soon as well.
Mate, he walks into Hollowtown, who's your phones first? Make sure he's safe, he won't be streets.
Exactly, Mr. Chris Bungard himself.
Legend.
Listen, calling out Josh Taylor, man, there's no way you're getting into 10 stone. I'll tell you that right now.
He can come up, I'll wait and cut a stone.
Come up, he's enjoying life right now, quite like. Let's talk about Josh then. I mean, for Scotland being a small nation and having somebody like Josh, I mean, you've got your own fight coming up now. To see somebody like Josh do what he's done in the professional boxing game, with every single belt around his waist, do you draw inspiration from that heading into this fight?
Definitely, man. He's a legend. He's just became Scotland's greatest ever fighter at such a young age, under 30. It's unbelievable achievement. I don't know if it's because he's Scottish, he doesn't get the appreciation and he's underrated. But people who know boxing know he's a world class fighter. He's a top 5 fighter on the planet. He's next level, and I believe he's only going to get better. But it's I don't know, underappreciated. It wasn't in pay-per-view, or it wasn't in Sky Sports. I think that's wrong to somebody who's going up for all the belts against a world-class fighter, 2 undefeated fighters. It's embarrassing, if I'm honest, especially when guys like myself are getting put on the telly that's never had a fight in their life. But what a man, what a character, great guy, and this is only the beginning for him, and I'm proud that he's Scottish as well, because we've got some talent in there. You know what I mean? I don't know what yours is yet, but we'll find it out.
Just don't mind, talk on camera, just don't mind. Aye, so let's go back. I followed that box store on Instagram now. They put up a post that you're fighting Blues Lee Ryan. I mean, your thoughts on that fight itself?
Listen, I'll fight anybody. I genuinely will. It's not to act tough or act big, but it's only a few rounds, a couple of minutes. I put a post up. I think the kid, all the negativity, all the hate, but it's a boxing match. I think he's used to all the wee lasses and girls, just the music kind of thing. This is a boxing match. It's a bit of banter to promote a fight, boost each other's platform, stuff like that. I'm all up for that. I'm up for a bit of verbal ping pong. But as far as I'm aware, I think he pulled out the first night. I don't know if the kid struggled with his mental health, but he says that he's not going to do it, so they'll get a replacement in, not a problem. So I'm excited to see who they bring in. Maybe the kid will change his mind, but I'm scared that if that's the first post, then what it might be like 5-6 weeks down the line, or maybe on the fight day that somebody's pulled out. So I'm just willing to get there. Somebody's up for it. A bit of fucking messing about. A bit of listen. I'm there to promote my brand. I'll keep promoting that. I'm there to get eyes on my stuff. That creates income for me. I can provide for my family, and I can travel the world and do what I do best, and that's talk shite basically.
Now, listen, you do what I do, but you're on camera. I talk shite too. You said you'll fight anybody.
Yeah.
Did you really mean that though? Because you know, like a lot of people, the stereotype coming from Glasgow, it's a tough city, it's a rough city. Do you know what I mean? So, are you a product of that? Are you a product of Glasgow as a rough
gang fighting all your days, 12, 13, 14, 15, right through 18. It's a different ball game in a ring. It's totally different. It's all tactics, you know that. It's discipline. It's can you take a dig when the pressure's. Listen, diamonds are made under pressure. That's all I'm going to say. The bigger the fighter, I believe I'll raise my game. It's only it's an exhibition. It's a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? I'm there to enjoy it. Like I said, I've been fighting not all my days. That's a lie. But I'm no one to shy away from one. I know I've got the face, the pretty looks, the nice teeth, and that is my concern.
I'll get my teeth done.
Do you know what I mean? But listen, I'm getting paid to do what you're getting to do, and that's to have a tear up. So it's to entertain as well. That's it basically. You've
interviewed some of the sports. I'm talking boxing, and you've interviewed and done a podcast with some of the sports greatest names. You've just recently done with Joe Calzaghe. You've done Tony Bellew. You've just spoken about Josh Taylor. You've done one with Josh as well. You've done some world class champions. So when you spoke to these guys and how hard they've trained, and I know you boom, we're on. That's the catchphrase. You start from the beginning and stuff like that. So when you hear these fighters talk and how the dedication they put into it, the missing birthdays, the weddings and stuff like that because they're in a training camp here, have you always thought in the back of your mind that, you know what, that takes heart, that takes discipline, and I wonder if I can do it? So was that sort of like playing on your mind when Boxstar approached you? Do you think, you know what, I've listened to these fighters talk about it, now I want to see if I can do it? Did that play a part?
Of course, man, it's never quit attitude. Anybody that's successful in life, it's never quit. Same as my interviews, it's been consistent. Consistency's key to success. Like, I've released a podcast every week religiously for 3 years, just learning the trade, learning the craft, the same as these guys. It's a lot of sacrifice. The thing with me, I've mastered no drinking, no taking drugs, no gambling. The only thing I've no mastered is my eating. Now, I can go out and run 20, 30k runs, I can run big runs, but then I'll go and eat shite after it.
I've seen your posts, you're on in cake shops, man. Do you know? I've seen them. I've seen them.
So that's the only thing. This was for me to give me a goal as well, to say, right, I'm going to really get in the best shape of my life. I want to lead by example. I want to show people that you can change, make changes. I know a lot of people will slate these kind of events, but I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at business, I'm looking at getting fit, I'm looking at more opportunities, new doors open, and just constantly raising the bar, raising the levels. But when you listen to these boxers, it's a no quit mentality, never die, and just want to push yourself to be better. Whether I do it again, I don't know, but
listen, boxing's a crazy sport. We've seen it in the professional game with things happening and stuff like the heavyweight division with Joshua Fury meant to be happening and Wilder and all this sort of stuff. So it's a crazy sport. And we've seen Logan Paul fight KSI with head guards on in Manchester 3 years ago to get the rematch with KSI in LA, pay-per-view and stuff like that. Then the third fight, he goes on to fight the greatest fighter on the planet in Floyd Mayweather. So for you to say that, like, I don't know what's going to happen, who knows, if you win this fight on October 2nd in Manchester, I mean, this could just be a stepping stone to you fighting the Josh Taylors and all that. Do you know what I mean? So
sign me up. Like, everything's limitless. And like I say, everything's about risk in life. Roll the dice and see where it goes. Everything I've done is all risk. Never know when it's going to end up, but I must be doing something right. So for me, it's to take this opportunity. It'll open more doors. Listen, these guys are getting paid millions. Why would I not sign up for that? I'm there to provide for my family. I'm there. I wasn't the best at that the first few years because I was battling my own demons, but now I've got them. Why not? I can take my kids to these events. I've seen their dad fighting in front of 20,000 people. I don't know if it's Bruce. Who's the guy that does the ring call-outs?
Oh, Bruce Buffer.
Bruce Buffer. Who's it? Is it his brother?
Michael
Buffer. They're doing the call-outs and that. You've got Davina McCall doing all the interviews. It's an experience. It's just another thing to tick off the list and say that I've done, but I believe with my ability, my vision, something else will come out of this.
You know what? Like, you're saying that, and the fact that you've actually asked me to train you and stuff, I'm starting to think I should have that James English mentality where I'm starting to think it's my brand now that I'm sort of, because I'll be walking you to the ring and stuff like that, which would be, I mean, two Scotsmen going down to Manchester, man, we can't lose.
We can't even. I'm the only Scotsman in the tournament, so I know I'll be getting booed coming out. So
you got your ring walk music sorted?
With some nice bagpipes and some Scottish stuff behind it, but it's an experience. This is, like I say, it's business. It's business for yourself. Tagging people in photos, walking into places. Who is that? Everything's opportunities. People need to learn from that. Like, everybody lives in fear, especially now. We're all caught up in fear. We're all scared to take chances and do this. For me, I'm taking everything that I can, because I was a waster for 33 years now. I'm on the path. I'm clean. I'm doing good things. This is just another thing that will knock out the park, and then more doors will open.
Now, I know you're a huge boxing fan as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
You do love the sport. It's not like you're just you're coming into the game not knowing what's what. You have done a little bit. I can tell already when I took you in the pads there that you've got a sweet right hand, which exactly. So you are a fan of the sport in terms of you do watch it at the weekend, you do follow the sport, you know who the heavyweight champion is, you know about Josh Taylor, you know all these guys, you do podcasts with. I mean, Josh Warrington, you've done, a lot of people don't know who Josh Warrington and Josh Taylor are, but you've done podcasts with these guys. So you are a massive fan of the sport. This isn't just you diving at the deep end, you do know the game a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, of course, man. It's where you come from. Every man thinks they can fight. Everybody watching this, I put a wee video up, 15 seconds, and people are telling you, turn your hips, turn your toes. And I'm thinking, everybody knows this, everybody thinks they know something, every man thinks they can fight, but until you get into a ring, it's a totally different ball game. Like, there's no many people can actually, even if it's sparring, body sparring, whatever, it's still scary for the average man. I'm 100% of my time against the average man, somebody that's never trained or somebody that thinks they can fight. I fancy my chances all the time, but going against an elite fighter, somebody who trains every day, you've no chance unless you're working as hard as they are. So I believe the best fighters have got to have a bit of ability, but if you're working harder than the rest, then you're going to have a better chance than your opponent, I believe. And I've become obsessed. That's the addiction personality. I'll become obsessed, going to run after this.
That's the addictive personality.
Because I don't want to be embarrassed as well. Part of me has still got ego. Part of me is still scared wee boy. What if I get embarrassed? But that's what fuels me. I thrive on that. I thrive when I'm most under pressure, and that's why I succeed.
Here you go, on the spot then, Mr. James English. Logan Paul and Jake Paul are doing what you're doing right now. Jake Paul was making headlines left, right and centre. You against Jake Paul, what happens?
Fucking batter the two fannies together. Not a problem. They are strong boys. They are very strong. They are working hard. But there are a couple of nuggets. The way they talk, the way they present themselves. I think the older brother seems a bit normal. The younger brother's he's a bit fucked in the head. But they're doing what they're doing. I want to be at that level as well, why not? They're accomplishing their dreams, they're travelling the world, they're absolutely causing it. People love to hate them, but they still watch them. Why? Because they're entertaining. They're doing what they do, I respect that, but I fancy much. I'll always get into a fight believing that I'm going to win, no matter who it is. 1,000,000%, every time. It's got me this far.
Correct the attitude there, James. Now, I know it's going to be a wee shameless plug because it's something that we're involved in at IFL TV now. I know you're not a gambling man, it was an addiction, you don't do it anymore, but this isn't a gamble, right? Fight Picks is an app that we've got on board with us. It's a fun game you get with your mates, right? Download the app, Fight Picks, and you just pick who you think's going to win and you win prizes. You don't spend any money, put any money in the pot. So it's a great opportunity. I want you to download the Fight Picks app and add me, because I'm going to go up against you, because it's a fight of the weekend at BT Sport. Joe Joyce against Takam and the British title on the line down at welterweight. So Fight Picks, mate. It's not a gamble. I don't want you going back into that sort of thing. It's just a fun time thing. So if you don't mind, you can download that app and who do you think's going to win? Just have some fun with it, man. It's a
How many fights at the weekend?
4 fights. It's the 4 main fights. So it's Carlos Takam, Joe Joyce, Burke against who else is it? I forgot his name. It's Eko Usman and also.
I like Joe Joyce. I like Big Joe Joyce.
Do you think Joe Joyce is going to win?
I think so.
How?
I don't know, man. I just like him. I think he's always underrated as well. He's an underrated fighter, and he always seems to.
How do you think he's going to win?
I think so.
How? Then by what? Stoppage points? This is what you do. You just pick Joe Joyce stoppage 7th round, and you win a prize.
I'll go for points.
Points against Takam.
Yeah.
Ah, see? You think so?
Yeah. Why? Because who did Joe Joyce beat his last fight?
Dubois.
And it was underdog there, was it?
Yeah, he was underdog. Yeah.
I like him. I like it. He's got that never quit mentality. Same as Lyndon Arthur, who I've had on. Again, started off slow a couple of weeks ago and then put the guy in his ass a couple of times.
We fought as well Anthony Yard, who was picked to be a world champion in that division as well. Do you know what I mean? So listen, it's good to get in that ring and do the pads and see what you've got, because like I say, you've got something about you, mate. James, you've got something about you, mate. Let's do it. But one final word. October 2nd, James English, whether it's against Lee Ryan or not, one final word from yourself.
It's a knockout from myself. Putting somebody in your ass, not a problem. It's big man talk. If it doesn't happen, you'll never see me again.
On that, mate, boom, we're off. James, thank you so
Cheers,
much,
my
brother.
brother.
Thank you, my
Thank
man.
you.
Till next time.
One.